when I went to school, instructors were very much that when you get a new project, you need to almost pretend like you don't have a thing you work on.
Right.
You need to go to the site. You need to ask what the site wants. Right. You're like a child looking freshly at this new site, and I think I believed that for a long time. Yeah. And then when I started to ironically look at other architects more closely, it seems like that's where you should do that in school, right? Yeah. But it's actually later in life that most people do that, and says what architects do I really admire, and how did they deal with that problem? All those architects that we admired, they were sensitive to issues of site and place, but they often said, what can the thing I do contribute to that site or place? And so those architects, and I'm talking about people like Frei Otto, Antonio Gaudí, Eero Saarinen, they had a thing. Saarinen had a couple things. But they didn't start fresh by any stretch of the imagination. They had a thing. And so I do think at some point in life, an architect's got to ask, am I working on an architectural issue? Am I bringing something to the table?
Yeah.
I will say about that, though, that I don't think people, when they're very young, should be super worried about that. I do notice that increasingly students are worried, and we as instructors are partially to blame, that they haven't found their thing, and there's not a clear trajectory. But I do think that if a person has decided when they're 19 or 20 years old that they know what they're going to, the exact kind of architect they're going to be, wow, they're really going to limit their ability to continue learning and growing and evolving in unexpected ways. Right. I think you should have a thing, but the whole point of it should be that it is absorbing every influence, similar or different, until you've reached a certain point where it's robust enough to continue to grow on its own.
So you had mentioned this is something you're seeing a bit more often now. Would you say that's within the last 10 years ish?